Some of the beliefs you've been carrying around in here aren't even yours to carry. In this video, I'll show you how to start letting them go. Have you ever felt, as a successful entrepreneur or business owner, that feeling of being successful, but yet something on the inside still doesn't feel quite right or feels like it's holding you back? Hi, this is Tina Lorenz, and I know what that's like, to feel like you're successful on the outside, but still feel something inside that isn't quite going the way you would love it to do. It's a quiet block, a resistance, a fog that you can't seem to shake. And you might have tried everything to clear it. You might have tried therapy, growth work, meditation, all the things. And maybe even some strategies for getting ahead in business, thinking that's what it is. I just don't have the right strategy dialed in yet. But even so, you're still stuck. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's like you're standing still in the middle of all that success. Look, I've been there. I built a career that looked great from the outside, but underneath all of that, the successful clients, the big wins, there were still these cobwebs that I felt like were hanging out in the corners, old stories, old beliefs, the kind of thing you don't realize is still running your life. It's still in charge until it hits you all at once, like a heavy wave of anxiety or a heaviness in your throat or that all too familiar sensation of just not being enough, like you're going to get found out. I've had that periodically too. And actually, I had a wave of anxiety that hit me just recently, kind of out of the blue. And I sort of knew where it was coming from, but my body kind of went crazy with the reaction to it. And that's when I realized that these blocks I was experiencing weren't just random symptoms. They were all tied to my beliefs about myself, my identity, that inner belief system. And those old beliefs, they weren't even mine, just like yours probably aren't even yours. They were handed down by my past, by the stories I've been living in for years. Maybe you can relate to that. So here's what I want you to understand. This isn't about strategy. It's not about more strategies that you're not using. Oh, just don't have the right one dialed in yet. It's really not about the things you haven't tried that you think you need to try. It's the belief that you're still carrying about yourself. The one that says, you're not worthy, or this is getting harder, or what if you can't live up to what you've already done? Or that feeling of ease or joy or trust or clarity just isn't there for you. I understand. I totally do. Because I grew up in a home where I had to learn to survive, always on alert, climbed out the bedroom window when I was only 17 because I knew that was the only way I could see through to something fresh and new and different than what I was experiencing. But even as I went out the window, those old beliefs, those old ways of protecting myself, they stayed with me. They were clinging on to me as I thought I was leaving them behind. I was only 17, and some of the way older still think we're leaving those things behind for way longer than I ever imagined or thought or even was aware of. You know, that's the thing. It's not really your fault, my fault, anybody's fault. It's just that we haven't quite gotten it dialed in and the understanding. So when I started doing the work that I'm doing now, what shifted wasn't just my business or my messaging or my relationships. They all did, but that wasn't the main thing. The main thing was my inner world, that inner journey. And that is exactly what I'm talking about now. Something completely different than what you might be doing now. Because, if you had a plan that was working for you now, you wouldn't still be looking for a solution. You would already be experiencing the difference. A difference that has you being able to dissolve the blocks, start dissolving them away that have been holding you back. Not by analyzing every piece of your past, not by reliving every difficult thing, but by remembering who you really are, what you really are at the core. If you've experienced some of this kind of agitation, the anxious feelings, let me give you something you can try today, like right now, something you can do in the next few minutes to begin shifting some of that stuck feeling, that stuckness and the anxiety that can come with it. So when you feel, even if you don't know quite what it is, but when you feel that coming up, that block coming up, that anxiety, the overwhelm, the tightness in your body, it's time to hit the pause button. And here's how you can do it. Put your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath in. And as you inhale, say in your mind, you can say it out loud if you want, I am here. And then as you breathe out, say, I am safe. Repeat that slowly, letting your body relax with each breath. I am here. I am safe. And you can just think it. You don't have to say it out loud. Let that work. Just do that a few times and see if that makes a difference for you. You see, what we're doing is we're not forcing the feeling away. Feelings are there for a reason. They're kind of like little flags telling you something. We're acknowledging what's going on and telling your body that it's okay to let go. It's okay. You're safe. And I am telling you, I just had to do this for myself a few days ago. What's happening when you do that is that your body's been holding on to the old stuff deep below the surface, like the iceberg metaphor, right? You might not see it, but it's there. And sometimes a piece of that just shears off. And it's not that you did anything wrong, it's that you're ready to release it. You're calibrating in a different way. You're ready to release it. And so it's breaking off. And when you begin to remember who you really are, the core of who you are, those old beliefs don't control you anymore. They might pop up, sure. We have so many thoughts, so many beliefs. It's estimated something like 70 or 80,000 thoughts a day, if not more. But now you know how to respond. You know one simple thing you could do starting immediately. You know how to shift your energy and your thinking, and that's when everything else begins to change. It's no longer about fighting the block or trying to figure it out or how can I shove it out of the way forcefully, but acknowledging it and gently shifting, just letting it work gently. And here's the amazing thing, it can start happening very fast. I've developed a sacred tool that works so powerfully. It starts bringing about powerful shifts in belief in 28 days or less. Even in days, I've worked with people that were like, on day 2 or 3 of this, I suddenly felt like heart opening. I was able to really see something about myself in a different way. One person told me I was just doing too much. My plate was too full. I kept thinking I had to do more. And suddenly, within just a few days, I thought, what if it could be easier? What if it could just be easy and I don't have to feel like I'm not doing enough if I'm not forcefully working at something 8-10 hours a day, right? So this was a huge shift for this individual. Another one who discovered within just a few more days, I had forgotten that I love color. I've forgotten that I love laughing, that I knew how to have fun. And I'm getting back to that. My adult daughter said to me, you look different, Mom. There's something different about you. People whose doctors have said, I'm noticing something different. Something's changed for you in a good way. These are the kinds of things that can happen so fast with this process. Sometimes it's hard to imagine how can we even get there. I live in the desert. We live in Tucson, and a lot of people think of the desert as a very harsh place, and it absolutely can be. Our property backs up to the desert. It's what I call the Outback, right? It's full of snakes and scorpions and bobcats and even mountain lions that are out there. And the heat, the absolute punishing heat that can be happening at certain times of the year, especially. I think of that as the Outback. And this is where you can move from that Outback, that dry, exhausting, prickly place of feeling stuck, to the Oasis. And our property is an actual oasis that we've created. But what could be your oasis of lush plants and birds and blue sky and shady glades and whatever creates that oasis for you, the sound of water flowing in a fountain, that peaceful, clear place that slows everything down for you in such a good way and helps you appreciate the joy that is there. That peaceful, clear place where your energy flows freely, where you're trusting yourself and your choices are restored. We want to move from the Outback to the Oasis. But how do we get there? You're going to battle your way through and overcome and push hard and try harder, work longer, all those things. No, you don't have to stay stuck in the Outback. That's not the only option. You have access to an oasis of that clarity, that calm, that confidence, where everything you need to feel whole is already inside you. It's like you're moving along on a clear path where there's guideposts, where there's shady rest areas, where there's cool water for you to drink, where you're beckoned forward and you can clearly see that you can get to the oasis. You don't have to stay in the Outback, and it's a safe, clear path just waiting for you. All you have to do is start. You take the first steps instead of continually waiting for the right time. Well, I'm waiting for the light to be exactly right on my clear path to the oasis. I'm waiting for there to be iced lemonade at one of those stations, not just water. It's not quite the right time. I think I need to leave a little later. Instead of continually waiting for that right time, you're willing to begin creating the first step on that smooth, safe path with the signpost guiding you, the places to rest, to recalibrate, to refresh, where you go at your own speed with those cool sips of water, the shady glades to pause in, and knowing through and through that this is the right path for you to reach the oasis. You are going to get there. You can see it ahead. So today, just let this soak in. Don't overthink it, because that's what happens. Our brains want us to get very active thinking they have all the answers, or try to reason your way through, well, this doesn't quite make sense. Or what if this and what if that? What if you just allowed yourself to feel it for yourself? It's like the first time I was in South Florida. I'd never been there before, and I'd certainly heard about tropical breezes and all of those things. But the first time, I still remember standing by the water and feeling that balmy air, like a soft hug enveloping me. It was the right time of year for that. And how sweet that feeling was. And it was like nothing I'd ever felt before, being out in weather anywhere. And feeling that was way more powerful than trying to think through the experience of why does it feel like this? And what are the exact weather conditions and the humidity levels and what makes it possible for the upper level lows? It wasn't anything like that. It was just feeling it and experiencing it and realizing this really is possible without pushing, without trying, simply allowing the inner you, the voice and wisdom that is yours and yours alone, to rise. In the next video, I'm going to show you what starts to shift when these blocks begin to dissolve. The clarity, the confidence, that steady sense of trust that comes in as a byproduct. It's almost magical. And especially if you've wondered, well, what if I've shifted a block and it just rolls right back into place? How do I know it's going to last? I'm going to show you in the next video how you'll know. For now, what landed for you in this video? Anything at all? Where do you notice clues popping up for you, even small, quiet ones, that a shift might be quietly beginning? That feeling of possibility, that hopeful feeling of, could this really happen for me? Can I really go from the Outback to the Oasis without it being hard to do and taking a long, long time to get there? The answer is yes, and I'll tell you more about it next time. I hope you'll drop a comment. Let's keep the conversation going. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, I would really appreciate hearing from you. Until next time, this is Tina Lorenz. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again soon.